couple of days ago, some photos of Dylan Mortensen surfaced online. They were published by the Daily Mail. And in these photos, Dylan is at what's called a Big Little reveal, which is a big sister, little sister reveal. And it was held at the University of Idaho in mid-September. And it was for, I believe, Dylan's sorority. Now, in these pictures, she's dressed like the other young women. Has a red solo cup, which we all know what that means. There's a picture of her with her boyfriend. She's basically looking like she's having a good time. And a lot of people on the internet have a lot of big feelings about that because they feel as though she doesn't deserve to have a good time. They think that she should be staying in her room and hiding away, and that she shouldn't be showing her face. And a lot of that stems from an interview that her former stepmother gave a few weeks ago. And former is the operative word here. Patricia Monroe is Dylan Mortensen's former stepmother. Patricia and Dylan's father divorced before Dylan graduated high school. So it's been a few years, which means that Patricia probably doesn't interact with Dylan on a day-to-day basis, probably doesn't talk to Dylan on a day-to-day basis, might not even be talking to Dylan at all. And she certainly doesn't live with her. So she wouldn't be privy to what Dylan does every day. My guess is she read an interview with Dylan's father that came out about a month ago, again in the Daily Mail, where he said that Dylan was isolating herself and mostly just doing gaming online, and she wasn't really going out. She wasn't really showing her face. So I think she just read that interview and sort of built on what Dylan's father said. I don't think she actually knows what Dylan is doing. But let's say she did, and that she said Dylan was suffering from survivor's guilt, and Dylan went out to a party. I don't want to blow everybody's mind here, but two things can be true at once. She can be suffering from survivor's guilt, and she can decide to go out and spend time with friends and be at a party. But people seem to think that because she's doing that, because she's not wallowing and just swallowed by shame and guilt, that must mean she doesn't care, that she doesn't care about her friends, and that she's guilty. You know, I had somebody in the comments recently say to me, well, we don't know that Dylan wasn't involved. Except we do, because it has been said numerous times by law enforcement that Dylan and Bethany were investigated and cleared. Could they be uncleared at any time? Yes. But as far as we know right now, Dylan and Bethany are innocent. And it's funny that it's always the people who think Brian Kohberger has a right to innocence or the belief of innocence. But these two young adults don't. I find that to be a very interesting contradiction. Now let's talk about the rumor that Bethany Funk is engaged. And that stems from an Instagram post that wasn't even posted by Bethany or even Bethany's boyfriend. It was posted by somebody in her inner circle that had nothing to do with this case, and yet somebody found it. And it's a picture of Bethany and her boyfriend hugging, and her boyfriend is wearing a t-shirt that says "For Lifer," and there's a heart in the middle, and there's a picture of him kneeling, and Bethany is, I don't know, she's looking giddy or whatever. And everybody assumes that that means that they're engaged, even though there's nothing out there that proves that supports this. They're just assuming, well, that means she's engaged. Now, if she is, good luck, you two crazy kids. But a lot of people have problems with that too. How dare she? How dare she go on and lead her life as though she doesn't have a right to be happy? Because again, she was cleared, just like Dylan was cleared. Now, I did a little Googling, and what I learned was the t-shirt that Dylan's boyfriend's wearing, "For Lifer." "For Lifer" is a term that was a TikTok trend, and it means a group of people that you believe will be in your life forever. So there's that. Bethany's boyfriend was also a Fiji brother at University of Idaho. I don't know if he still is. And it is said, or it was said, that this For Lifer t-shirt was made by the company he works for, and it's all in his Instagram bio, that this was a t-shirt made by the company that he works for what they call a date dash, which is some kind of sorority fraternity formal. And that it wasn't that he was asking her to get married, it was that he was asking her to some formal. Is this true? I don't know. But what I do know is that there's about as much evidence out there that support what I think it is as there is that supports the belief that these two are engaged. In fact, I think there's probably a little bit more to what I think it is, to my theory, and I know I'm using the word theory incorrectly, and I appreciate the person who corrected me on that. I think there's a little bit more information that supports my belief than the belief that she's engaged. Now, this photo of Bethany and her boyfriend, it wasn't on her page because Bethany and Dylan are internet ghosts. Nobody can find them, understandably. And it wasn't even on his page. It was on a friend of theirs page, one of their inner circle. Now, how somebody found that, I don't know. I'm sure they just trawled through social media, figured out who their friends were, and started following them and looking at photos. And I guess the question I have is, are some of you not at all embarrassed that you are trawling through the social media of college students, people you don't even know, people who haven't even been associated with this case, and you're extrapolating information from these photos and talking about it online and posting these photos of these kids? And I don't care what anybody says. It's harsh. I'm sorry. I don't care. They're younger than me. They're significantly younger than me. They're kids. And these people, adults, grown adults, people in their late 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, are on social media posting photos of all of these kids at cookouts and parties and on the beach. And none of them are at all related to this crime. Here are these college students trying to enjoy what is supposed to be the best years of their life. And a bunch of grown-ass adults are essentially stalking them online, as though they don't have any right to privacy just because they go to University of Idaho or because they were in the same fraternity or sorority as one of the victims. Are some of you not embarrassed at what you're doing with their photos and with their social media profiles? Like, are some of you truly not embarrassed that you're following them so that you can keep up with the latest scoop, or that, some of you are responding to one of the Davids on Twitter? I saw that recently. You are grown adults harassing 20-year-olds, all because of a 4chan post. And you think it's okay, and you think it's appropriate. And I'm just, I guess, I sign off all the time with a question, and here's my question. How far is too far? Do you think that people should be allowed, or that it's not creepy or weird for people to be going through the social media pages of friends of the victims, or people who are in their sororities, or like just trawling the internet, scouring it, looking for any photo that they can find so that they can have their little TikTok lives and talk and analyze the photos and talk about, can you believe that they're out this? I know she's on a boat. Like, what's the line and where does it end, I guess? That's my question. Leave your answers in the comments.